A woman stands up in a city council meeting, papers shaking slightly in her hand. Her English isn't perfect and she knows it. Everyone in that room can hear it. She says the sentence anyway, the one she practiced 40 times in her kitchen the night before, because her neighborhood is about to lose the bus route her kids take to school. That's not a small moment, that's justice, happening out loud in real time by someone who had every reason to stay quiet and didn't. I want to talk about the people who show up like that, not with headlines and not with lawsuits, just with the courage to speak when speaking is the harder choice. We tend to think of justice as something that happens far away, in courtrooms and legislation, in places most of us will never stand. But I've watched for over 50 years that the real weight of justice gets carried in rooms much smaller than that. A classroom, a clinic waiting area, a folding chair at a community meeting nobody else wanted to attend. Dignity, it turns out, isn't granted. It's claimed. One sentence and one signature, one uncomfortable meeting at a time. Some of the adult learners I teach practice these exact moments with me before they happen. We rehearse what they'll say at a parent-teacher conference, what they'll say to a landlord who's cutting corners, what they'll say in an immigration interview where one wrong word could cost them something they can't get back. I've sat across from a grown man mouthing a sentence silently over and over like an actor before opening night. Except the risk here are his family's whole future, not a review in tomorrow's paper. That's advocacy too. It just doesn't make the news. Because real advocacy rarely looks like the version we see in movies. A single hero, a single speech, a single dramatic win. Mostly it looks like a translator staying late without being asked to. A neighbor who shows up to court just so someone's not sitting there alone. A teacher who writes one more letter of recommendation than they technically had to. Because justice gets built the same way trust gets built, in increments, by people who show up without needing credit for it. And here's something worth sitting with. The people fighting hardest for dignity are often the ones with the least power to demand it. A parent who doesn't yet have full command of the language still walks into that school meeting. A worker still uncertain of their legal footing still reports the unsafe condition anyway, because someone has to, and no one else will. That kind of courage doesn't get an award. It just quietly holds a whole community together. This isn't only an immigrant story, though, because maybe you've had to advocate for a parent who couldn't speak for themselves anymore, for a child the school system kept overlooking, for yourself in a room where everyone else seemed to already know the rules you were still learning. If you've ever spoken up when silence would have been so much easier, you already know exactly what I'm describing. What I want you to walk away with today isn't a call to go march somewhere or to write your representative, though those things matter greatly too. It's smaller than that, maybe harder. The next time you're in a room with someone who's struggling to find the words in a new language, in a hard moment, in a system that wasn't built with them in mind, stay a minute longer. Listen a little closer. That too is justice. It just doesn't announce itself, because dignity was never something we grant to each other from a distance. It's something we build up close, one voice at a time, including sometimes our own. Take care. Stay connected.